Tanjiro finally manages to push the boulder a little bit while Inosuke and Zenitsu are shocked to see him do it. Tanjiro runs out of strength but uses his willpower to continue pushing the boulder. Inosuke gets annoyed that Tanjiro managed to do it before him, and his anger combined with the power of tempura helps him push the boulder too. Zenitsu is stunned that he's the last one remaining, but his shock is short-lived as his sparrow, Chuntaro, arrives with a letter in its claws. Tanjiro completes his training of pushing the boulder a total of 350 feet, but gets passed out. He realizes that he sweated a lot and didn't get to drink any water, and that's why he got dehydrated. He looks like a cheap emoji, as he wishes that somebody arrives to help him, otherwise he'll die. The anime still needs him, so water suddenly falls on his face, and his savior is Himejima. Tanjiro thanks him, but Himejima continues to drop water on his face. Himejima congratulates him on completing his training and makes the right decisions in the village. He says that he's acknowledged Tanjiro, and he explains that he chooses the lives of villagers over Nezuko. Tanjiro explains that he was indecisive at the time, and Nezuko was the one who made the decision, so he does not deserve the acknowledgement. Himejima thinks about how children lie easily, and are quite selfish, but Tanjiro is different. Tanjiro continues yapping about how people always help him, and requests Himejima to not acknowledge him so quickly. Tanjiro then thanks him for training, and Himejima tells him that he has acknowledged him. Tanjiro gets confused and asks the reason behind it. Himejima doesn't miss the chance to yap and starts recalling his past. He tells Tanjiro about how he was raising some orphans in a temple many years ago. They all had a very good relationship, but a dumb kid decided to go against the temple rules and stayed out after dark. That dumb kid got caught by a demon and made the deal of the century by offering Himejima the rest of the children's lives in exchange for his own. The kid extinguished the wisteria incense, which allowed the demon to come into the temple. The demon killed 4 of the children in an instant before Himejima could get up. He tried to protect the remaining 4, but 3 of them didn't listen and they tried to flee. They all got their necks sliced in a way befitting for children that don't listen. Only the smallest kid, Sayo, listened, and he wanted to protect her no matter what happened. He says that he was unaware of the power he had and tore the demon apart with his bare hands. He says that this was his first time hitting a living thing, and he hated that feeling. He kept punching the demon's face till morning, and when people arrived, the traumatized kid, Sayo, said that Himejima was the one that killed everybody. The demon's body had turned to dust, so everyone believed that Himejima killed the kids. Himejima says that he had a hard time trusting people because of this, and he was suspicious of Tanjiro too. He says that the true nature of people comes out when they're cornered, but Tanjiro didn't stray from the right path, even in the face of danger, and that's why he acknowledged him. Tanjiro starts crying too, and Himejima pats his head. Later, Genya says that Himejima is a good guy who accepted him as a disciple when he sensed that Genya was eating demons to gain strength. Inosuke tries to eat Zenitsu's dried fish, as he didn't come, but Tanjiro stops him. Tanjiro brings the food to Zenitsu, and sees him act differently. He gets worried and asks if everything's alright, but Zenitsu rejects his help and says that he must face his problems himself. Tanjiro goes on with the next training session with the water Hashira, Giyu, and witnesses him fighting the wind Hashira, Sanemi. Blue and green engulf the training ground, and Tanjiro realizes that he can finally follow their movements. Their swords break simultaneously, so Sanemi suggests that they should kill each other with their bare hands. Tanjiro takes his words seriously and intervenes to prevent them from killing each other. Tanjiro asks if Sanemi's fighting over red bean mochi, as he thinks Sanemi's favorite food is red bean mochi. Giyu's surprised that Sanemi likes red bean mochi, and this annoys Sanemi, so he punches Tanjiro away. The knocked out Tanjiro wakes up a while later and learns that they weren't fighting seriously. Giyu tells him that it's part of the Hashira training, which includes sparring with each other. Giyu says that he's happy to learn Sanemi's favorite food, and he's gonna give it to him every time he meets so they can become friends. At night, Sanemi senses one of Nakime's ugly eyeball creatures and crushes it. He realizes that the Demon Slayer core had been infiltrated. On the other side, MUZAN casually walks to Ubuyashiki's residence, in slow motion thinking that he's Michael Jackson while the Wind is a paid actor. The half-dead Ubuyashiki casually greets him like a top G, and he shows no sign of fear even though his mortal enemies arrived. He asks Amane to describe MUZAN's appearance, and she does so. Ubuyashiki says that he knew MUZAN would come for him, as he hates him and the Ubuyashiki family. MUZAN says that he's disgusted to see the head of the family that's been opposing him for 1,000 years in such bad condition. It seems that his demon powers also include the nose of a dog, as he says that Ubuyashiki's already smells like a corpse. Ubuyashiki gets up and tells him that the doctors expected him to die 6 months ago, but he's still alive. He says that he could only stay alive for so long because of his desire to defeat MUZAN. MUZAN is amused at the dying man's words, and says that he will kill Ubuyashiki tonight. Ubuyashiki tells him that they have the same bloodline. He explains that the blood might have gone thin over the last 1,000 years, but his family was cursed because they created a monster like MUZAN. He says that the children in the family would die soon after being born, and a priest told them that the bloodline had been cursed as it produced a demon. The priest told them that they should focus on killing the demon to protect the bloodline, and they married daughters of priests over the years to become prone to the curse. Even after this, only one has lived past the age of 30 in the family. MUZAN is sick of his yapping and says that he's about to throw up. MUZAN mocks their curse and says that he's killed countless humans, but is yet to receive a divine punishment from the gods or Buddha. Ubuyashiki asks MUZAN about his dream that he has been trying to fulfill for the last 1,000 years. MUZAN wonders why he doesn't feel any hatred for his mortal enemy that's half dead in front of him. He notices Ubuyashiki's daughter playing in the courtyard and is surprised that he feels a sense of familiarity and relief instead. MUZAN's thoughts are interrupted when Ubuyashiki answers his own question and says that MUZAN's dream is immortality. MUZAN proclaims that his dream will come true soon when he captures Nezuko. Ubuyashiki tells him that his dream will never come true, and MUZAN replies that he has all the time in the world to find out where Nezuko's hiding. Ubuyashiki has too much energy for a half-dead person, and says that he knows what immortality is. He proclaims that only the human will is immortal, and the Demon Slayer core is proof of that. It's not been eradicated in 1,000 years, even though so many people have died. And this is all because no one has forgiven MUZAN. He says that MUZAN has stepped on the tiger's tail while referring to Demon Slayers, and says that they're all only focused on killing him. Ubuyashiki explains that his death will not affect the Demon Slayer core, and mocks MUZAN for not being able to understand this. He says that if MUZAN dies, then all the demons will also disappear. This angers MUZAN, and Ubuyashiki realizes that he guessed it right. He concludes his final speech by saying that his death will be the greatest motivation for the Demon Slayers. MUZAN is sick of his speech of wisdom, and asks if he's done, as he prepares to kill him. Ubuyashiki thanks him for listening, and side by side, the Hashiras rush the residence after being notified that he's been infiltrated. They recall discussing about assigning a few Hashiras to guard Ubuyashiki, but Himejima told them that Ubuyashiki is against it. They desperately run to the residence while wishing for their master's safety. On the other side, the whole residence exploded, like a mini Hiroshima. They all witness the explosion, and MUZAN barely manages to survive. He heals himself, and wonders how a man with the smile of a Buddha blew himself up along with his family. MUZAN notices that the explosives had tiny spikes to delay his regeneration, and realizes that there must be something more. He notices that someone else is also nearby, except the Hashiras, and thinks about how Ubuyashiki was a viper full of deadly poison. MUZAN's surrounded by floating flesh seeds, and spikes emerge from the seeds. The spikes pierce him and spread inside his body, which prevents him from moving. Tamayo appears out of nowhere and pierces his stomach with her fist. She tells him that he's probably absorbed her hand already, and informs him that she was holding a medicine that turns demons into humans. He kicks her leg to make her wobble and slightly punctures her forehead. He doesn't stop there and pokes her eye with his thumb. Himejima appears out of nowhere and blows MUZAN's upper body into pieces. Himejima recalls the first time he met Ubuyashiki, who was 4 years younger than him, but only used to say things that would appease the other person. He recalls how Ubuyashiki did not lose his spark even on his deathbed, and how he planned to act like a bait so that the rest could kill MUZAN. Himejima witnesses MUZAN's recovery speed, and recalls Ubuyashiki telling him that only sunlight will kill MUZAN, so they must drag the battle out. Himejima and MUZAN face off, and the rest of the Hashiras also arrive at the scene. They learn that the person before them is the king of the demons, so they all try to attack him at once. Things look dire for MUZAN, but he turns the tide of the battle by using Nakima's teleportation ability to send everyone to the Infinity Castle. They lose their best chance to kill him and will not have to go through many other demons before they can reach MUZAN. Will they be able to kill him and end this long war? Comment your thoughts below and subscribe for more.